between this time between so because I procrastinated to oblivion and so my exams have just finished, which means that the blank canvas recording sessions can now begin. I'll be trying to turn all my demos into a fully fledged 6-song EP for you guys to listen to by the end of the year. This means that I have to produce, write, and sing everything from scratch, which will obviously be a lot of work. But in between the break that I have from school, basically about, honestly not that long, a week-ish I think, and if I can't finish then, I'll probably have to record after I get home from school, but that's still doable. I'll be trying to get everything done and make sure I can get all my music done so that I don't procrastinate and I'm actually a productive person. This is my way of forcing myself to make sure I get something done. Hi, my name is Dusky Natris, and today, the blank canvas recording sessions officially starts. So I played Roblox for 3 hours straight. But better late than never. We are going to start decluttering now. So because I procrastinated to oblivion and I did not take any responsibility whatsoever, I cannot finish decluttering everything in my room in one day. Is this kind of embarrassing? Yes. But when I was decluttering, I went through a lot of old stuff and look at this. It's reverse text, so you can't really see it. But this was my business plan when I was 12 years old, and it was to sell animal cupcakes. Oh my god. And I worked with a friend called Claudia for this, so you can obviously see the aesthetic font and the little calculations. Oh my god. Oh my god, I feel so I still remember typing this out, I still remember making the Cadbury cookies, which are basically 2 sugar cookies, I think, sandwiched in jam, and then we were gonna sell them to our schoolmates. But it never took off the ground. And honestly, I think this was just it was just a spiritual experience. It didn't really need to happen. It just needed to be planned. Anyways, I am actually gonna go to sleep now because I cannot do this any longer, and I need to wake up early tomorrow so I can actually get stuff done. Chocolate tiger cookies, by the way. And hold on, I don't want to go to sleep yet. The lemon blueberry cupcakes from and it was meant to be dolphins. Wow! Oh my god, I feel old as hell. Wait. Oh my god. And there's a fully working mathematical instrument set here that I never even knew I had stored randomly. Whew. And this has been super nostalgic because I went through stuff that's 5 years old, 6 years old. And no, not maybe, not, 3 or 4 years at best. And it's wow. Oh, by the way, these were the chocolate chip cookies. You can't really see it because the text is reversed, but every single thing had a little calculation that had a number on it. Oh my god, I felt freaking those celebrity bakers when I was making this, and I was really this is gonna be what we're gonna do for the rest of our lives. Okay, I'm actually gonna go to sleep for reals. Bye! I'll see you tomorrow on day 2. So it is officially day 2 of the blank canvas recording sessions, and after a bit of decluttering, we can move on to the part that I'm more excited about, the songwriting. Okay, so right here is actually one of the songs that I finished today, and it's called Swimming in Sheets. Initially, I only had the verse, pre-chorus, and the verse, and another verse written out. But after all this, I have like the full song, which I'm kind of proud of. And I'm gonna play a snippet for you so you know what it sounds like. Pushed by the tides, rise to the light, swimming in cotton sheets. So compared to the rest of the EP, which is a lot more like upbeat, a lot more like humorous, Swimming in Sheets is a very slow song, or at least slow compared to the rest of the EP, The Blank Canvas. And what's actually unique about it is that compared to the other songs, there's a lot less syllables per like line. So for example, in the opening lyrics, which I'll probably post a picture over here so you guys can see it better, it reads, hold on by a thread and I slowly follow, which is only 5 words or 9 words for that whole like few bars, compared to like, let's like, I'm gonna show you a song that I've already released, like Crash Battle for example. It reads, I swear these feelings are just a glitch in the matrix, which is 11 words just for that one line. So you can obviously see that the flow in Swimming in Sheets is a lot slower, and the reason why I chose to go with that is because generally compared to like the Crash Battle, like wanting to show that I'm like, oh, I'm nervous about this like crash that I have, Swimming in Sheets is a lot slower. And this is a good segue to tell you where I got the inspiration from this song, for this song. If you didn't know, and you probably don't, I have a lot of trouble sleeping, especially on weekday nights. Like, I'll off the lights at 10:30, but I normally don't sleep until like 12:30 or even 1 a.m. So in that 2 to 2.5 hours of like struggling to sleep, I conceptualized this song, which, you know, is about not being able to sleep. And as I slowly started to like realize, one of the reasons that I'm not really sleeping well is because of academic stress, where it's like the day before an exam, I'll really like struggle to sleep. Yeah, so when I conceptualized this song, I wanted it to be a lot slower because, you know, you're like asleep. What else is there to do? It's not exactly like you can do like 3 billion things. You're just like thinking about all your embarrassing moments. So to reflect that, there's obviously a lot less words per line, but that also means I have to be a lot more careful about the words I pick because I don't have as many. So for example, I kind of have to be smart about the metaphors I use. Again, with the opening line, hold on by a thread. And I feel like for a long time, like the months before this, I was really struggling to come up with an opening line. The opening line is always the hardest to come up with because it needs to set the mood of the song and what you're gonna sing about. And I feel like holding on by a thread kind of encapsulates that idea of like, oh, how do I put it? Oh, it just encapsulates this idea of being like barely clinging on, like powerlessness. And I think that's a good setup to what the song is. But if we're gonna talk about like the parts where I feel like the song gradually begins to progress and bloom, then I think the line that does it is more to do, more to write, burn it all to ashes in the final part of verse 2, which is like, you know, considering that the rest of the song is very chill, it's very relaxed, it's very like lethargic, I think that like the intensity of that lyric really makes like a cool like little contrast compared to the rest of the song before this. And actually, let's move another segue to the structure of Swimming in Sheets. So I wanted to try to use a more experimental song structure where it goes verse, pre-chorus, and then after 2 verses is when the chorus happens. And then there's one more bridge and then a final chorus. And the reason why I wanted to do it is because I wanted the song to like slowly develop from a sense of lethargy to a sense of like frustration and irritation from, you know, like exams and not being able to sleep properly. And that line like signifies a development, and it starts the build up of that frustration that I want to convey. So as the song goes on, the harmonies get more layered, the production gets more intense, and it's to like convey that change. And it gives me a chance to like do cool vocal harmonies and stuff like that. So it is kind of very cool. It's a very interesting experimentation. Oh, and by the way, the academic stress is like kind of hinted at in verse 2, but in the final chorus, it's like fully expressed. It's like, what's the point? What's the goal of waiting to rot? When I wake up tomorrow, what can I look for? Oh, I felt like I did my big one when I was writing that line at like 3 p.m. Because it's like, it's so cathartic, you know, to express that frustration and irritation. And I guess that's why I do music, is to like express myself and to find out who I am through my like musical expression and identity. I also think that that's what the whole concept of the blank canvas is where you're like trying different sounds, trying to find out who am I as a person and an artist. And I think this song is the one that I was looking to finish first because one, I actually have two songs that are finished already, and two, I feel like this was a very interesting song to start from because it shows a side of me, like it shows a more calm, reflective side of me that I don't feel like I normally show in my daily life. So it is kind of something that I wanted to finish, and I did. So that is day 2. I got a little bit done, and I really do hope that you had a fun or at least relaxing time. And I hope that I did entertain you while I was like rambling and yapping about my music. So the next episode is probably gonna air sometime soon, and I'll get into the meatier parts like the production, the vocal layering, and the ad-libs as I record more songs and I start to produce the instrumentals. So if you liked it, subscribe. Bye bye!